आपको मेरा नमस्कार. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. So, I will discuss a couple of end games followed by white side of our accelerated dragon today. This session for black, I would like to recommend you to play only classical Sicilian, which is very solid. Nasdorf is good, but it is too much theory and too much complicated. Too much theory to study Nasdaq. So, whereas classical is much easier to study, lesser number of variations, and you need only good understanding and some model games. You can play Sicilian classical. So, let's have a look at how white should play about handling accelerated dragon for white. First, let us see a couple of end games. Veerabhadra Singh, Ramakrishna, and so Devers. Welcome, Om Desai. You know, if you play RAS, you will make mistakes. Chess does not allow that you will play 5 second, 10 second and just attack. So you have to think that given you are given time in tournament. Okay, so there is only एक ही मंत्र है classicals. You have to study classic games to become an all rounder, to be good at anything, improve your understanding. You have to study classic. There is a tunnel. There is no other way. You have to go through it. Study classics. That is the only answer. Okay. So, Devers, welcome. What should white do here? Any answer? BB7, good move. So he will play rook. You wait again. Now is a critical moment. Check. If white plays king e1, it is lost. King e1 is lost. So white has to go to other side. Now black cannot cross over. Black, if this is the position, it is lost. White to play also lost. Suppose the king is on g3, even if it is white move, it is lost. But king cannot cross. But white, black finds another way. Place this king. Now you have to move the bishop. Now he gets a tempo. So check. Now he is getting mate thread, but this is wrong corner. But he will go away. Draw. It is a draw. So there is he cannot improve. He can't cross. You need to reach this square or this square to draw. He cannot stop. One more end game. This time it is white to play. How should white draw? White is losing because bishop, knight and two pawns for a rook. It is that white is in a losing position. But you find how white can draw the game. Yes, Rishabh Shah, please try to solve this. Then I will go to accelerated dragon. White to play draw. How? There comes the solution. Rook g1. There comes. Now there is a double attack. So this is the only defense, but leads to stalemate. The resource of stalemate saves the day. Resource of stalemate saves the congratulations, finding the brilliant move. So now let's go to accelerated dragon. Basically, accelerated dragon e4 c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, cd and d4. Now it is wrong move order. If you play knight, this is wrong way. You are trying to play, black is trying accelerated dragon, but this will turn out badly. This is plus. Now, if you come lose a pawn, and this is very bad, and you go back, bishop c4, white better. Now you can just castle. This is plus. You can play bishop f4 plus. So this is the wrong move order. Do not black should not play knight f6 and then g6. This is a bad idea. So the correct move order is after nc6 direct g6. So direct g6. Okay. Now d4. What is happening? Take. Now direct g6. So here there is two possibility. White can go for Marokji bind or white can develop normal. Marokji bind, it is good, but it is quite slow. I mean, because white is making another pawn move, so he cannot go for an attacking setup. And black can find counterplay. There are two types of positions also. For example, black can play knight f6, and you need to play this, and then knight into knight, and then d6. Now the point is, after bishop g7, castle. Now the bishop is protected by queen, king. So threats will start coming. So maybe you can play bishop to g5, bishop e6, and then queen d2. This is a possibility, but it is not dangerous. I mean, even if you play bishop h6 and exchange, there are not many pieces left for attack. White's minor pieces are exchanged, and black is out of danger. he will have a very easy game. So I do not recommend to play Marzi Bind. It is giving easy play. And there is another game also I would show. I mean, this is the, I am showing you that black can easily equalize with this. This is good. And if you play now bishop here, castle, castle, and now queen, you cannot count on an advantage. The queen has made two moves, and the central knight is exchanged. So these are the things that I recommend not to play Maruzi Bind. And I will show you an important game between two grandmasters. Good morning, Suresh Bhai. I was in that tournament. I played, so I remember a very important event. And this is the last round in the Linares, where Tibiaco was facing black pieces against a strong GM Ole Korni. And Tibiaco adopted the accelerated dragon. So, okay, he adopted. Okay, bye Ramakrishna. So this is castle. Queen has to move. So the whole point is black has been successful in exchanging an important piece. So in many variations, white cannot play sharply. With knight on the center, there are more possibility for attack and initiative. And white has made two queen moves. That is also important. And one pawn move. So black has no problem. No attack will come. Let's see this game. The idea of the move is to put pressure so that you are forced to play sometime. Then the bishop is powerful. This is the idea. Why this move? Because you cannot play rook c8. a7 is hanging. So preparing to bring the other rook. Preparing to bring other rook to c8 to put pressure. Okay. So white has defended the threat, and at the moment there is no danger. So is the other plan is to play a6, which is inferior, because they will play some nd5 is possible. So we should avoid such a line. Then better is this knight c4. Want to exchange and then break the bind. Force rather force. Rook c1. Black will take the important bishop. So this is necessary. So black has been successful exchanging. The theme is that you want to try to exchange queen, and then the knight is quite good at c5. Queen. Exchanging queen, you get nothing. This position, it is very good for black because of the weak square. If you exchange bishop takes knight, the minor piece is better. Otherwise, the knight will come. Otherwise, the knight will come here and then plant the knight in the center. This is very good. So exchanging queen, white gets no advantage. So and it doesn't suit a player of active style. He doesn't want to exchange queen. So knight, a regrouping. What we need is a regrouping. The bishop is doing nothing. The bishop better placed in the long diagonal. Anchoring the queen. In my opinion, it is better that white waits with f3. but it doesn't suit the style of the player. So technically, it is having quite a solid position, but he tries to attack, which does not work. A5. So good move. I am not ready. The knight into knight, white will get a better. After the move, pawn into, and there is a backward pawn in the open file. This will be quite troublesome. So he plays in the game here, rook e8, allowing pawn knight into. I think this is a bad move. A player should know to certain point you can push. You can you can stretch yourself to a certain extent, but to win you cannot go all out. These are rash moves. The position is still not out of control. Already I feel black is better because this pawn bishop is not so good mobility. The queen is ideally placed. So already I feel black is little better, but this becomes rash and the king position. So it is bad. Attack the center. Only move. Now the file. Only move. Now it's a critical moment. I want you. Now position is very good. Okay, what should black do now? You need to spot the weak points. Kanak Dek Vaidya, welcome. So, how should black play? Black has excellent position, but you need to find a plan. When I say find a plan, immediately you should see where are the weak points. So, where are the weak points? The weak point is this is a target, this is unprotected, the bad king. At the moment, these are the weak points. So, we place here rook into first, rook into, and now place. This is the target, and this is bad. This is bad. Bad position. Now rook is a blunder. This will be a blunder, and this rook is also bad. Queen check. So you cannot take that pawn. This is the problem, and this is also bad. I will take and play e4. I will play pawn into pawn and e4. This is strong. I will have a centralized rook. This is bad piece. So here he plays and pass. Now another mistake. This is already position. He has been outplayed. Another mistake. Now the king and queen rook. So this is simple. Whatever do it is bad. It is actually should have played here queen c4. But anyway, black gets a good game after this also. Queen d2, and now I think black has little better chance. Black is little better. However, it is still tough. Queen c4 was the best, but he made this mistake. I think it is now very bad position. Very bad. Now rook coming. You can take also. You can take that he will take the rook also. So rook. The end game is winning. The end game is lost. The knight is much better. The white king position and pawn structure. There are three pawn islands. Winning the game. Now rook into rook, knight into, just the knight is superior. There is no pass pawn. There is no pass pawn possibility. The king will come. It's a technical. You know, so this actually it is. Of course, the position was equal. I don't say that this is winning. The position was equal at the moment. So this variation, accelerated dragon, I would say that the player should be very careful. Accelerated dragon Maruzi bind. You should play now knight into pawn, knight into knight. This is the variation I am talking. So now here bishop g knight f6 and take. This is equal. Maruzi bind. You know, if white manages to get c5 sometime, that is why sometime grandmasters know they play here and c2, so that you do not exchange easily and get this variation. But this is not active move. If you retreat the knight, white cannot go hope for an advantage in open. First of all, c4 you have made extra pawn, not necessary. And then second, you retreating knight. But I won a game. I was white and I beat a grandmaster, very good grandmaster. So you should not retreat. If he retreats, I will tell you why this is not good move. I must tell you that black has a very easy game. Let me take you to a top player's game first. I will take you to Piguso or maybe Malako. Piguso, Malako. So here, idea bishop into knight and knight e4. So defend the e4 pawn. Now I think he has lost advantage. White. Now a3 has threat has come. So already bishop into knight threat. This is already equality. Plus. Now bishop into c3 can come sometime. Black has no problem. So if you play that NC2, knight d7, NC5, it is getting a very easy game. You can see this maneuver, it is very easy. If you play NC2, BG7 and knight d7. Now straight away giving a threat. Threat. Bishop into c3, knight e4. Threat. Not threat actually. A4, A4, A3 is threatened. And playing A4, there will be holes. There will be a lot of weaknesses. So this is a very easy way that use NC2 is simply not working. Maybe I can show you Grandmaster Malako, who is an expert of this accelerator. This is Ras. Rasmo. F3 was correct. Rasmo. If you play B5, there is C5, there is a hole, and black gets counterplay. So NC2 gets no advantage at all. But you know, sometimes player want to avoid that easy knight into knight and BG7 tempo. So I would like to suggest that you should have white should player should avoid this NC2 variation. Okay. So Zuza Polgar also played same thing ND7. Very easy. Black has completed development and white has not got a single threat yet. So this is very easy. So I do not recommend. However, you see there is a you should get an idea. I played black and white grandmaster this is Lars Carlsen. I would say Lars Carlsen. A grandmaster from Sweden. Lars Carlson is a grandmaster from Sweden. So I played with him some tournament at Manx, Wrexham, 98, I guess. Maybe I can go in this manner. So I will go like this. He's, uh, he is like a 2600 player. Current strength is like a 26 plus player. Game है ही नहीं कि I don't know. I don't know whether it is in data. Say, yeah, it is there. So it was in Owens Corning, Wrexham, 1996. Now I retreated. I retreated. He wants to take and come. So this variation you cannot get an advantage as white. Black is perfectly okay here, but black played carelessly. Now Queen A5, playing all normal moves, normal moves. So how should white play now? I want you to ask a question. Why black has played all normal moves? Queen A5, Rook C8. What should white do? Never says on B3. B3, how can you play? BF3. No. There is better move. There is better move. Okay. Not G5. White to play. White to play. No, not G4. No, no, no. G4 is a bit rash. This is a bit rash. You spot a weakness. You spot a weak point. Spot a weak point. Okay, I give a broad hint. White queen is watching the bishop. And this is the guard. This is the guard. That means if I can play, he cannot take it. He cannot take. This will win a piece. So, and if you do not take, complete weaknesses. So see if I would give this move an exclamation. Already black position is in very bad shape. Black is in a very bad shape now. D7, D7. What I mean to say, the queen is watching this point. This is the target. So C5, good move. Now you cannot take, you lose a piece. And after the move, now it is bad. It is already gone. Outplayed. Black is already gone. Simply knight to c4 plus minus. The position is plus minus. Now attack the king. The king in trouble. You cannot take that. This is bad. Knight c4 is completely winning. So only move. Only move. And the position is plus. White has got opening advantage. White has bishop pair and a target, and it is not easy. The position is very complex. So now I found a good move. Welcome to take my pawn. You are welcome to take the pawn. Queen will be totally decentralized. It is bad. So now he attacks, attacking this pawn and the bishop. Aggression. I don't want to play passively. This will be bad. Bishop d4 check will come. But bishop g5 tempo. If you play f6, the problem is solved. So the only move. Now there is an attack. The only move. No problem. Counter attack. Now the point is, if he will try to win exchange, it is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. Rook into, bishop takes pawn. Now if rook comes here, then bishop check is bad. So and if rook comes here, this is also not good position. Not a good position. Because in this case, maybe what I can do here? Maybe I can do bishop check, bishop here. This is a good possibility. What I had seen that position. What I was thinking. Here, if you place rook e8, I guess this check should be good enough. This check should be good enough. Now you come here. Now there will be a double attack. Attack c7, attack d6. Bishop can be planted here. It should be good position. One pawn for exchange with a good position. So my opponent did not like this. He played here. No. He played in the game knight into pawn. With the idea, if he will take the bishop, rook into bishop, and now the pieces are lost. He can take will a piece down. So he cannot take the bishop. Still inviting him to take, the knight is trapped. And now it is winning. With lot of complication, I found good moves and I managed to win the game. In a sharp struggle, the game continued for quickly just like this, winning a piece and winning the game. So what we need to know that Bharatji bind is not dangerous, but Black should have played an ND7 and NC5 with an easy game. But don't allow a break like that. Mechanical moves, crushing. The correct move here, after the move Bishop G7, now here he should play Knight F6, now D6. This is correct. And now Black should play Knight. If you play Knight C2, now if you play Knight C2 here Knight C2, this is same setup. Knight will come with a good game. I leave this, go to the main line and Knight C3. This is one of the reason I suggest not to play Maragzi bind, giving an easy game for Black. So I recommend to play NC3. NC3. You can do D4, CD, and D4. It will. This is the what happens. D4, PD and D4. Now G6, knight C3, bishop G7, B3. This is the setup I recommend for white. I mean, whether 6 B3 here, or it can go in this move order 6 B3, same time. Okay. Now there are other moves, but for example, white can play knight B3 here. Avoiding main idea, this D5 comes. If white will play passively, black gets an easy. Suppose, let us say you play mechanically bishop. I will castle and you castle. Then D5. Then D5. Black has already equalized. No advantage for white. So it is this position, no E5 is coming. That is the reason you have to play here bishop C4, not allowing D5. Immediate castle is not a good idea. Immediate castle, knight into pawn will come. Equality. A temporary piece sacrifice. White black gives a piece temporary. Equal. Is equality. So we should play bishop to b3. The other line is complicated. You know, you play this move, bishop pawn f3. It is white has to give a pawn for some activity. I do not advise that you should play this. Of course, this is playable, but I am not happy with this. You can play bishop here, and maybe this is good for white. If you play, then maybe here this line, this should be good because this kind of setup, black's development is bad. It looks a bad position, but black development is bad, and knight into bishop will not solve the problem. So you would rather play here knight into pawn instead of playing ng4. Black would rather play knight into pawn. White will have some compensation. I agree. I agree that white will have development advantage, some compensation. Check. Now there is some compensation because black king is little weak. So, but you know, pawn is a pawn. So you have to be very careful. If my opponent is not a strong player, I mean, is a low rated player, I would go for this. If the white player is not strong, then extra pawn will tell. But I feel that we should avoid such variations without analyzing properly at home. So I recommend not to play this f3 line. Here, this line is dubious. Bishop b3, d5. No, no. This is a gambit. The main line is here d6. This is there are three lines. Basically, at the diagram is there is a critical moment. Black can play a5. This is one possibility. With the idea, he wants to play a4 and take the center pawn. This is one possibility. Black can play here d6 with the idea that bishop simply develops and is also creating a threat of knight g4 and bishop d7 plan. This is one of the main line. The other one is a gambit. I do not approve to play a gambit which is not so good. Except now black can play knight b4 and attack the pawn three times. One, two, three. And if you play queen f3, now here maybe you can offer a pawn. This is a possibility. Bishop can come. So this is one possibility. Or black can go knight a5 and take the bishop to collect the pawn. So the gambit will turn out bad. Knight a5. Queen f3 is actually more correct. I would say Queen f3 is more correct. Okay. See here, knight b3 takes queen here. You have to take. You have to move the bishop. You cannot take it. Now when you play, now white is going to lose this pawn. Huh? When you are losing the pawn, make maximum damage. मरते मरते शहीद होने से पहले दुश्मन को थोड़ा तबाह कर दो. Now ये pawn गया, but he will make a weakness. Now the bishop is poorly placed, and there is a pawn weakness in the open fight. So this will turn out to be good for, you know, Karyakin played this. Karyakin played against Dubo in some recent tournament, 2017. Karyakin played this novelty. अगर पॉन जा ही रहा है तो कुछ डैमेज करो, वीकेंड द पोजीशन. अभी इस इफ यू प्ले ये पॉन जिंदा रहेगा तो ठीक नहीं होगा, इट विल गिव ट्रबल. So it is, this variation is better, but anyway the grandmaster, who is this MBL, MLV, MBL or MLV played castle. The idea is same, creating a tactical target. I think this is bad. He should have settled for a weakness. Maro or thoda bad endgame. This is possible. The material is equal, but white has a superior pawn structure. ये खेलना चाहिए था. थ्रेड को बंद करो. And now I will bring rook d1, डबल करेंगे, इसको अटैक करते जाएंगे. This is how the game should have played, but here Gelfand, you know, perhaps he did not count on this move. He did not do in his home preparation. Maybe he has overlooked this. Better. Now the position, that pawn is a deadly extra pawn on the board. Not extra pawn. Yeah, it is extra pawn. Bad. There is no need to further explanation on this position. That means the gambit turns out not to be good. So I recommend that you don't need to worry against the gambit. There is this d5 move. D5 move. You need not worry. You play pawn into pawn, and in any case, white gets a better game. Now queen f3 is more modern game. Okay, you can go. There is no place for the bishop. You want the pawn, you can't go back. You have to go here only. But then this is advantage. Okay, I leave this. Now all theory. Malako, Grandmaster Malako played a5 with Anand. Anand. Actually, Anand took the recommendation of Gennady Kuzmin's game. He played this move, castle. Now, if you play, you have to play, otherwise the move is a waste. Knight into pawn, and you take center pawn. White stood better. Anand white, Malako black. Now there is a threat here. Obliged to play rook. And now c4. I am going to consolidate. My plan, I want to consolidate slowly. We set the position. Maybe I will have a look the whole game. So it comes to your preparation very handy. अरे ये नहीं है भाई, क्या बात कर रहे हो, ये तो रहेगा. Something is wrong, went wrong with my software. Anand Malako है. So he did not push a4. He did not push a4. Now plus black has lot of square weakness. Black's queen side squares are weak squares, and white has a good center. No counterplay possibility. It appears to me the position already is plus minus. Already, I feel so. Because there is no tactical target. The rook e1, he will keep on building. Rook e1, queen d2, knight d5. So Anand had different idea. You cannot take at the moment because tactical blunder. Here, this is a blunder actually. Plus, and you cannot take other way also. This is also bad. Rook into other rook. So this is plus. F7 point cannot be guarded easily. So it is a bad idea to play e5, and the game continued here. No, f4, knight d7 plus. The white king position is superior to black. Black king is bad. White has center and centralized pieces. You can also play positionally. This also gives small advantage, but technically it is very difficult. So it comes plus. No b5. Very well timed, and it is now center is better, and gradually you will consolidate. Okay. So this Anand scored an important win. Anand Tibiako, I think I am showing that game to you. Is also plus. So I leave this, go for the selected games. I already showed this plan. That BB3, now you play D5. This gambit plan I showed already. Still you see the game. Still you see the game. D6. If you capture queen into pawn, the endgame will be very bad. It is inferior endgame. Now, for example, here, what else you are going to do? What are you going to do? You want to play knight into bishop? Here, he says castle. This is a little. This is more aggressive. This is more aggressive here. Why this? He plays some queen f5 move. I have to also see what can you do. No, no, not castle. He played in the game. He played in the game castle. Now, now knight into is not working. Queen into. There is a threat here. So you have no time for taking bishop into. And now if you play pawn into pawn, this will be problems. So to avoid all these things, black played queen a5 plus. Now there is a Taras formula. This is a badly placed piece. Badly placed piece. You want to free that? What else? The other move is just bad. Very well played. You can't afford to allow me queen g5. Cannot take the pawn. Plus minus. I would say rather it is a plus minus position. Forced. Already bad position. Queen side 3-2 majority. The moment keep on exchanging pieces, the king will become stronger with the help of 3-2 and you will win the game. So other moves are bad. Plus. So the whole variation is dubious. I would say d5 is almost disappeared nowadays. So you don't need to worry. I leave d5 line. Is line I will leave this. Only thing you don't walk into some bad moves like this. Okay. So just take this and queen f3 is good position. So now there is a threat of knight g4 is coming. Knight g4 is a annoying threat. Well played. Now you can see the coordination of white pieces and center is better for white. What we get an opening advantage. What the question is? Imbalance, which position you are talking about? Nandini Modaliar, welcome. Imbalance, which position you are talking about? Previous game. Yeah, it was imbalance position. Welcome, Marmik Shah. The idea is to exchange the bishop and black gets a piece. The black's idea is to get rid of the bishop, so black knight gets a square at this point. The king is weak. I don't want to give the bishop, so immediately I regroup it. Attacking chances now. Plus superior minor piece and a backward pawn and a better king. White has three advantages. You compare the king position, this is superior compared to this one. Then there is a backward pawn, two. Then superior minor piece. Now the bishop is this pawn is at the moment, but in the long run the bishop stands better. You have to move the knight first. White is better. Double the rooks on the backward pawn. You cannot because this is support in controlling this. So it's that simple. He is getting 1-2 is coming now. Practically forced to get rid of that backward pawn. More pawn weaknesses. More pawn weaknesses. Plus minus, I would say. Very well, he is playing excellently. You cannot do anything. Grandmaster Swidler and outplayed a well-prepared opponent, Piguso. Piguso was second of Garry Kasparov, Grandmaster Piguso. So he has just outplayed him. So what it transpires here, the whole variation starting here, this line, it is not good. After the move here, ND4, BD4 and BD7, this turns out to be good for white in all variations. But there is no other plan basically. If you delay further, next move I will bring the rook. I will bring a rook here. I will play f4, e5. My plan is to bring the rook, this rook, and then start action f4, f5, e5, or f5, whatever it is, end e5. So white gets better in this structure. Let's see, go to another one. Many times, why players play accelerated? The point is, it normally in many Sicilians, you know, white gets king attack on the king. I mean, many times white gets attack on the black king in many Sicilian positions. But in accelerated dragon, the pieces are exchanged, so not many pieces left for attack. So that is why the players with a positional style, they want to exchange and go for a long term end game. So if you play Maruzi Bind, it is in hands of grandmasters. It is good, but it is easier for black than the NC3 and this variation. I would rather play NC3 than recommend you Maruzi Bind. The main position. You need to stop. This will allow trying to play like a dragon. I told you a pawn will you will give for the sharp play. So this is normal. A bad line. First move in the wrong direction. You against the basic principles of opening. You cannot make three moves to take the bishop. Naturally. Now, if there was an attack, if there was a possibility, I would have prepared to play other way. If the queen was ready, rook was ready, then I would play pawn into and kb1. But there is no attacking chance here. There is no chance that black can get an attacking setup after the fianchet. So there is no plan easily available. Black for black. And white has a plan. White can systematically start advancing his kingside pawns. All I need kb1 at some time if necessary, and I will start attacking. Now g4, h4, hy. Very slow plan. Now I will tell you many players in accelerated dragon, not at this point, they play re8. Not at this some three, two three moves before. The idea to play meet bishop h6 with bishop h8. It is also bad, but it is interesting. Recently I am seeing some grandmaster play re8. White has an attacking chance now. You need to play, otherwise anyway you will die. Now you take, it is bad. Plus, you see d5 square and the pawn is unstoppable. This deep backward pawn, this weak square, 1, 2, 3, and this queen bad, and this is ready-made coming. Plus, a threat nahi, even if I move also there is no mate. ये खत्म हो गया. करीब करीब the game is over. मारो ना मारो, if white black has to give exchange to survive, now knight check you have to survive. Now you must not allow them. What else you can do? So this is very bad position. That means it turns out that this variation it is bad. Suppose you play here knight f5. This is bad. Reshevsky lost very badly with Fischer, but that was a different game. That game was different. So in that game he had played here right away knight f5. Right away. I think castle has been down. I guess so. Am I right? I think maybe here. Maybe here some a6 move and castle. This may have been interpolated, probably. And now he played this bad move, and after e5, knight e8, bishop into pawn comes. And he won the game. Rook into will queen trap, king into knight here. Anyway, queen is trap. Lead to mate. So the whole idea, such a move like give knight a5 is just bad. Leaving center. E5 is finishing. Same thing here. Now knight a5, leaving center. So this whole setup of wasting two, three knight moves just to take the bishop, it doesn't work. I leave this. So you should make a note of all these things. आपको वेरिएशन याद रखना जरूरी नहीं है. ये मेथड है. You should know that this is a bad thing for black. So in tournament, you should find your own way. This is very easy plan. Any question? Welcome Mukund Agarwal. So you know, in the, I will show B34. Let me complete all these things. I will go to the another variations where black will try to divert white from main line. This is what I was talking. The one of the main idea that some variation he plays queen d2, knight bishop a6, so that he is going to save the bishop. Now, when you play like knight queen d2, so this is the whole point. This also turns out to be bad. See, if you play bishop d5, then there is some counterplay. Counterplay is the b2 pawn. So you have to take pawn into. I am returning the pawn with a better game. Positional advantage. Ultimately, you will end up exchanging the dark square bishop. That is a serious positional disadvantage for black. That's all. The weak pawn remains. Alternately, you capture with a knight two times. You capture with knight, I'll capture knight, knight into, then bishop into bishop. A very bad position. So he left saddled with a weakness. Plus, already this is three pressure. One, two, three pressure is there. One. And the bishop is not good. Material equal. Positional disadvantage. Well played. Now, this is scope of the bishop. He is hanging to the pawn, but there is no activity. So, white has an easy plan. Next h4, h5 will come. White goes away from that diagonal. Anything is bad. No activity. No threat yet. Now already it is bad. H file opened up. Don't want to. If you play bishop takes, the endgame is bad. Queen into with the endgame will turn out badly. Forced. So this is the endgame bad. हो गया का. अभी इस ट्राइंग ए मेटिंग नेट. ये रूक यहाँ आ जाएगा तो मेटिंग नेट है. और दिस रूक विल कम. सो threatening a mating net. It is hasty move like this. It is not a good idea because rook check and then check check. You will exchange the rook. So you need to be little patient. Now he is trying to stop that plan. So he should have he says that this is possible to play. This is possible to play for a draw. But all this thing, this is only, I would say positionally it is bad. You can plan it out. The whole concept of entering this variation, it doesn't work out well for. So I would like to leave this line. This is whole position re8 I suspect. Just to avoid bishop exchange, it's not a good idea. And now trying for center, not so good. Okay, please note the concepts. Bishop b3 main position. One more game. This time he wants to play d5, e6 and d5. Now the point is, this is passive position. No, who was Ole Korniv? Ole Korniv was also, no. I think Zaginjev was black. Korniv was white. I don't know. I'll see that game. I have kept it. Now he is threatening a pawn. Bishop into knight. But would you like that this black will survive after giving the bishop with queen and rook and h pawn? Easy attack will come. So it's not a good idea. So white ignores this threat. White ignores this. You are welcome to take my pawn. Plus, you cannot now shake the knight easily. It is too late. The attack is faster than material threat. Crushing. Other capture is bad. This capture, this is bad because the attack plays itself. So he decided to play other one. White to play and win. Please find out. It's like a puzzle. Find out. White to play and win. What would you do if opponent is attacking king? Who should start attack on the center or defend the king? Omkar Pingle, it depends on the position. There is no general rule. Normally in attack, flank attack is countered by a central blow. Normal. But it depends on position. So here, now I say, find out white to play and win. A puzzle. Not queen h7 check. आपको मेटिंग नेट में डालना है. ये बिशप को, दिस बिशप, मेटिंग नेट में डालना है. So idea, now I want to play even bishop here and then mate. Idea, bishop here and then mate. So he wants to bring the queen to stop the mate. He wants to bring the queen. If you play, so you will play queen into check or some checks, but then Queen check, resign. Resigns here because bishop check is a mate. Now take bishop mate. So it is an interesting setup. Bishop g5, game over. Idea bishop f6 coming. Idea queen check, bishop f6. Seventh move, queen f5. Okay, I know what you are talking. I know the variation you are talking is this. E4 c5, knight f3, knight c6, nd4, g6, knight c3, bg7, be3, now knight f6, now bishop c4, and this move. This is a bad move. You know, I would give this move a dubious character. However, Gata Kamaski played this with black and beat short. He beat an established GM with black. Queen a5, it is not a good move, but it a trappy move. Who asked this question? Queen a5. Who asked somebody? Just a minute. Who asked me this question? Who's Parma? Okay. Who's Parma? You know the simplest answer. The correct answer for Queen a5 is to castle. This is involving many opening traps. Basically totally a trappy move. दो पैसे का थ्रेट है, कैसल कर लो, हो गया काम, कुछ भी नहीं होगा. Now if you play queen to f h4, beat, bad position. The point is, now if you play queen to b4, attacking bishop and the pawn, bishop b3, and now on knight into pawn, idea 1 2 3, 1 2 3, attacking the bishop. Now knight into knight means you will get the piece. You will get the piece. But you can play here a3. Now if you go, I will capture the knight free. If queen will go back, knight is free. That means you have to take knight in. Queen f3. Queen attack. There is one threat and there is two threat. किसको बचाएगा? मर्जी आपका है. तो ये सब पुराना ट्रापी लाइन है. ये जो है क्वीन f5, ये प्योर ट्रापी लाइन है. कैसल कर लो, क्वीन b4 इज नॉट वर्किंग बिकॉज ऑफ bb3 और मारा तो a3 ask the question to the queen. Queen f3 wins. Winning initiative. That means it is bad. So what are you going to do now? That means अभी अभी कहाँ है क्वीन एच a5 का मूव करेगा क्या? मैं कैसल कर लिया तो ये क्वीन को लेके क्या करेगा? That's why. However, Gata Kamaski won. He gave a pawn sack. Maybe I will show that game. It is ट्रॉफी लाइक. एक ब्लिज के लिए ठीक है. आप किसी के साथ ब्लिज गेम खेलते हो तो टाइम पास के लिए ठीक है. लेट मी शो दैट गेम. देखो ये गटा कमस्की और नाइजल शॉट का गेम है. एंड दैट टू इन कैंडिडेट पीसीए फाइनल, सेमीफाइनल. आई सो castle. अब ये pawn दे रहा है. Taking the pawn is risky because ultimately you black will focus on these 2 points. So it is not a good idea because knight into pawn, knight b4 can come. And the turnout black is good now. तो ये सब फ्लसी लाइन है. आपको मैं कह रहा हूं इधर यार देखो ये पोजीशन में here he plays b5 and giving it is an exclamation mark. But why you have to play queen d3? Why you have to play queen d3? आपको इधर ये मूव खेलना भी क्या जरूरी है? So here you castle. Now you play nb3. Ask question to the queen. Queen कहाँ जाता है? Now if you go queen to, then I will play bishop d3. This is a good position for white. White is good. a3 is very serious threat now. Very annoying threat. Pawn a3. So nb3. Now you have to go back queen. Bishop e2. I feel that white stands better. White has a ready-made plan. f4 e5. White is simply better here. This is good. And if you play here instead of queen c7, you play here queen h5. Then I will play b. क्या करेगा? That is why I say nb3 is a very easy move and white has a good game already. Queen c7 is not good. Queen h5 is not great. So I would say that this is not at all a sound line. Trappy line. I agree, lot of traps. Just castle. You remember that all you need is simply castle and get an easy game for white. I don't need to discuss this trappy line. So main position. This another see this is the standard move. After the move, white will stop the plan. Will like this. And black may play bd7 castle. This is a standard position. Then white will play re1, queen d2. Then this is how it will go on. But queen c7, it is just a waiting here. This is just a waiting. Not sound. You know, black is trying to confuse. So I am having a ready-made plan. This is good. Vasily Ivanchuk having a great understanding and a great player, great talent. White has ready-made dragon. You have a simple ready-made plan. Just play g4, h4, h5 and piece sack. Sir said in Sicilian dragon or dragon, just open the S line, sack and mate. Open the H file. Even if you don't know theory, this plan is enough. For example, this will turn out badly now. This is bad. It is bad if after the move. And now if you allow, very easy attack. क्या कर लेगा इधर? The C2 point, I have 3 support. कुछ नहीं हो. Forced. अरे इधर forced है. नहीं तो mate हो जाएगा. This capture will lead to mating attack. Excellent. मार देगा if you play d6 and b7. अभी अभी भी ये नाइट यहाँ वॉच कर रहा है ये स्क्वायर को. दैट मीन्स यू कैन नॉट डिसलॉज दिस नाइट एटलीस्ट फॉर नेक्स्ट 2 moves. So this position is already knight c5. I liked it. You cannot dislodge the knight also now. Double करेंगे automatic attack. Even now also you cannot dislodge. ये खराब हो. Now the fork is coming. If you push the fork, so he is doing this. This is a dubious move. At least he should have played white is better. Some activity. You need to do something against the king. All black moves must be directed against attack. Some action. So B4 में कुछ तो life है. Next he will play some rook B8 or something like rook G8. अरे horrible. हो गया काम. अभी भी D6 नहीं आ रहा है. Even now D6 I will play any 6 and take the bishop. So now he wants to play D6. हो गया काम हो गया. I return plus. Excellent pawn structure for black. White. So the whole concept of this Queen C7 is and B6 is ruled out. This is a good model game for that. Excellently played by Avancho. I like the move. I like the move especially here. This whole concept is bad. This one, fantastic. Exclamation. I guess 2 more games, 1 or 2 more. I leave the main accelerated, then side variation of accelerated. Accelerated का और 2-3 गेम दिखाएगा. Then side variations I will show. Now many times accelerated a player goes for classical dragon because classical dragon absolutely very easy line to work out. And olden days they used to play only this. PB3, now S3. This is a weak line. If you exchange this black plays very passive. Abhi knight bishop e6 and knight move exchange. These are all bad moves. So this turns out not so. You can't play b4, knight d5 and re1. It's a bad position. Plus already a pawn in trouble. D6 pawn weak. A7 pawn. The structural superiority. Now this is becoming a headache on the king. Camel in the tent. So I can put it a camel in the tent. Yeah, this is just one-sided. The story is just going one way. Now B7 pawn और D4 pawn तो गया ही. ये तो गया. कुछ नहीं कर सकता है. पहला इसको तो बचाओ. Position is not having counter attack. यहाँ साक मारेगा अभी है. यहाँ साक भी मारेगा. Now अभी ये मूव खेलना जरूरी है. The reason is now he is giving a sack. अगर कुछ टाइम पास करेगा, सपोज जस्ट मेक सम टाइम पास, साक मार दे. ऐसा कुछ करेगा तो मैं ये साक मार देगा ना. रुक इंटू मार सकता हूँ, मार दे। चेक, चेक, चेक। Problems are there. So there are some possibilities. So already it is pawn down and bad. So ये गया, कुछ नहीं, hopeless. The only move you cannot play bishop into e6 wins. The only move, कुछ नहीं, totally passive position and lost. So the whole concept in this line here, ये जो knight into knight, this is a very self. It is like a self goal. I have seen players playing this move, which is also bad. This is also a bad position. You can just castle, and thereafter you can play rook e1. You can now play the end game also. So this position is passive. Queen a5 is coming somewhere. So re1, white stands better. Okay, so this is also not a good line. Knight into d4 is just a bad line. ये e6, ये भी एक खराब लाइन है, e6 with the idea black wants to go straight forward d5. ब्लैक को अभी क्वीन के लिए जगह है, नाइट लाना है, d5 खेलना है. So this is also bad because f4. Now I already showed you that this threat is absolutely naive because of the king position will be bad. Whatever you do, attack is coming. अभी मारा नहीं, मारा तो ये आने वाला. Next h4 h5. I will play e5, push the bishop somewhere. Next h4 h5. So वो बोला मारा, दोस्त को बोलेगा अरे पॉन ऑफ था मैं तो हार गया, ऐसा बोलेगा. अभी h5 is coming, कुछ नहीं कर सकता. So whole concept is bad. Standard main plan. These are bad moves. I did not discuss. Already I discussed, but there is a different concept here. I showed you. I will show the game because I found something different. Now nd5 is coming. The plan is to play nd5 next. Next move nd5, and you capture a backward pawn on e7. X and d5 मारना पड़ेगा into the weakness. b6 weakness है और ये मार देगा. So force. So this is an outpost and a backward. Simply plus minus. अब a6 pawn बचा. You cannot take that. Then king side attack will come. After you take queen into, white will have simply h4 h5 plan. Heavy pieces are there to attack. So it is not a good idea. So he played b5, but then knight. This is also completely lost. I would say plus minus position, not lost, plus minus. Forced central pass pawn has been created. Lost. The two pass pawns will decide. So the whole idea of an outpost at center, that means you cannot create a weakness. a6 b5. You know, these are all bad moves. So bishop into knight and knight d5, forced to exchange and get a backward pawn and outpost. Khatam. You got my no. I have not seen your game. You must send me a message. Okay, I will see the game today and afternoon I will discuss. Accelerated one more game. Then I'll go to the side variations. If bishop b3, castle. No, it is also good move to castle. Then you same idea. I told this is bad. I told you this is a bad one. Now I must sorry tell you in case somebody has missed this. No, this is bad. Now rook has to come. This is not working. Bishop b6 will be terrible. मारना है तो अभी करना है. अभी ये बिशप c4 a5. अभी ये कैसल करेगा तो ये भी प्लस है. Which means now pawn push, knight into pawn, knight b5, rook a6 c4. This is also plus. Bishop c2 tempo आएगा and rook comes to thereafter pawn b3 set हो जाएगा. So in the game to avoid this they play directly knight b5. Plus bishop नहीं देना है. I want to play e5 but I surrender the fantastic bishop now. Plus anyway you can't stop. अभी ये खेला even if you move queen somewhere it is a bad position. Suppose you move then I will play ending 5. This position also plus for white. No, I cannot play the pawn. Here, 1 minute, what will I do here? Just a minute here. Am I winning some material? No, I am not winning. So here, bishop into knight and pawn into knight into d6, but I will play b3 first. Returning bishop into followed by knight into d6 or then consolidate a4 and start action on the king side. This is what I will do. Go away from that bishop's range. He plays in the game a4. Tactical concept. Now bishop into bishop, knight will return. Plus minus. Miserably black with knights are placed. There is a threat here, threat here. You will not be able to survive. वो तो पौन जाने वाला ही है. ये तो पौन जाएगा ही. You cannot survive. Now this is now find out the danger to black. What should white do? White to play and win. Okay, I will come to the game. White to play and win. Find out. Find out how white is winning. White to play and win the game now. Okay, I must tell you now. I have little time because I need to cover another variation. The point is the queen is getting trapped. The queen is trapped after check. Queen trap. Gone. So these are the drawbacks. Basically, now the position is bad. Now this pawn is falling. So he makes a move. Queen's entry is blocked. Check and over. Resign. But anyway, it is bad. Even if you do not blunder, still the position is bad. What will you do now? I would say this position still bad. Okay. Rook d4. Right. Paris Kumar, you are right. Queen trap. So now I have showed you accelerated dragon various setups. I want to tell you there are some funny lines that not going for the main line but playing side lines gives black gets into trouble. Wrong move. You want to play accelerated? Do it right now. This is the best way. And bishop g7. But not after this. This is bad. Take plus. This is actually white was Fisher and black somebody plus. The point is here take and you take this pawn is bad. This is bad because he will get trapped. This piece will be trapped. So you have to push this pawn and then take. Now the pawn structure of black is bad. The material will be equal, but a bad pawn structure and a bad king position. So this is bad. And if you play other way, now I don't need to see. And if you play other way, like this is also bad. So I leave this. Now earlier they used to play bishop f4 and f4. This is white better. Bishop f4 white better. This is better. Okay. But modern move. Because I'm giving immediately a threat. I'm giving a threat instead. Pawn push and check and attack. So this is recently one boy from Kazakhstan, Sindaro. Sindaro, he is the second youngest GM. I think he beat Pragananda's record. After Karyakin, I think he is the youngest ever GM. Then Pragananda was second youngest. But now this Sindaro of that Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan, one of the I think Kazakhstan. Sindaro beat the record by 4 days. And Sindaro played bishop d4. Sindaro. Now f4. Better position. This is better. White has huge space. Plus. White का attack आ गया. I think Sindarov's game. Have I kept Sindaro? Maybe. I have not kept. But you please check Sindaro. He crushed somebody. So the whole concept of move order is bad. You cannot play ND4 and G6. This is bad. Take and white gets a better game. Okay. So in this position, knight d4 is also equally bad. Knight d5, queen f3, attack, only move. Now you castle. He cannot take the pawn because of mate. Not mate. Cannot take the pawn yet. Very nice, very beautifully played. Plus minus. Cannot push the pawn. You cannot take the bishop. Cannot support. Bishop c8 is miserable. is bad. So the whole point is, don't, this move order is just bad. After knight f6, g6 is bad. This is just a bad move. Take and e5 is coming. Okay. So one more Jaginjev. Now giving the bishop, one cannot play anti-positional. You know. Okay, I don't want to support it because if I support, then some threats will start coming. So these are bad moves. So just place knight. Take the pawn if you want to. I will give a very bad double pawn. Knight into e6 is too bad. Plus, not even one pawn and a bad king side. Black not even got a pawn and got a very bad king position and cramped pieces. अब ये सेट करके दिया, खत्म हो गया. This is already bad. So the whole concept, it is giving the bishop is bad. Normally it is. एक दो और actually quintex pawn is also plus. अभी आपको ये आना पड़ेगा. Now bishop b5. Older line, Bronstein, David Bronstein liked, he said this is good enough. Now knight c6, queen a4 and knight d5. Now queen e4. White stands better. This position, according to David Bronstein, the queen is centralized and now h4, h5 will come. White stands better. I agree, but black is not without counterplay. So instead of this move, I would say that here, why this move? Now bb5 is better. Now no knight c6, मार देगा. And if you play a6, पहला e5 आ जाएगा. This is a very ugly structure. क्या है ये? ये क्या है? Bad, bad. These are bad. This is bad. All bad pawn structure. और एक pawn तो कुछ भी नहीं. So just कैसल करेंगे तो एडवांटेज आ जाएगा. इतना सारी वीकनेस लेके खेलना नहीं. अभी भी सब नहीं खेल सकता है. रुक चेक आएगा. So this is miserable position. So that means he can't play a6. अब ये a6 खराब है. अब नाइट आएगा तो मार देगा. मार देगा. This is bad. ये bad है. But this grandmasters have different ideas. They say that this is also equally good enough. Good enough. Plus. Now rook b8. तो e5 e6 आ जाएगा. मारा तो क्वीन e5. आप ये मारोगे क्वीन e5 में एक रूक चला जाएगा. चला जाएगा. So good move. Very good move. अभी if you take rook into b2, he will play bishop c4, giving a threat pawn into and queen check. Pawn takes pawn and pawn takes pawn मारा तो queen into queen, king into queen, castle check. और ये रुक गई. So you cannot accept that gift. b2 pawn को नहीं मार सकता है. Poison pawn. b2 pawn is a poison pawn. खाएगा तो मर जाएगा. So e6 bishop f4 good move. अभी castle मार नहीं सकता है. अरे वो मारा तो मारा, नहीं मारा तो मारेगा. अभी गया. यू कैंट प्ले rd6. तीसरा अटैक डायरेक्ट थ्रेट है क्वीन इंटू रूक. डायरेक्ट. तो ओनली मूव. दूसरा मूव में गेम जाने वाला है. यू कैनॉट डू एनीथिंग. अभी रूक आएगा तो दूसरा रूक आने वाला है. सो ही प्लेस किंग Idea queen into rook. Idea queen into rook. Queen हटो. Okay, next move. Exchange गया game. So the whole concept ये खराब लाइन है. ये जो है these are very poor lines like ND5. This is bad. ये फियांचोटो करना गलत है. ये गलत पोजीशन यहाँ पर. ये मूव गलत है. A6. Okay, I leave this. This is decent. This is okay. I would play bishop e3 is more correct move. Bishop e3, knight f6, bishop c4. So it takes it. Okay. Okay. A temporary pawn sack. White position is slightly better. I would not give a big plus for white because the center pawn is still alive. So little better for white. This is not good move. I believe the position is still playable, but after the move, you want to seal the line. His basic idea is to seal it, but this is bad move. Passive position. So these are the additional lines I'm showing, which is not normal. One more game on that accelerated. Last game. So this knight into e5. Now this is also possible that I told you that this position is played nowadays bishop d4. But anyway, this is also good. Idea now for temporary pawn sack. These are all bad moves. Now on pawn into pawn, queen into and castle. White stands better. White will have an advantage here because king is the development problem, basically development problem, and this is very unsafe king. So this is possible, but in the actual game they went on to play d5. This is bad. Now white chokes him. This is a concept I am showing you. Choking f5. अभी next move I will play g4. Complete choke कर देंगे. This is not possible. It is just mate. So next move बिशप आ जाएगा. आप कैसे भी मारो. Pawn into bishop f5 भी नहीं. Bishop into choke हो जाएगा. Lost. So your position, this is, you cannot play some move like here. The correct move here, knight h6. This is a more decent idea trying to castle. White is better. For example, now you can play the standard move, something like queen to d2. Now knight f5, bishop coming here. You need to play h5. ये आ रहा है, g4 आ रहा है. You need to play h5. And now castle. White gets a better game. White should be better because eventually g3, s3, and g4 will come. Eventually. However, this is a bad move. After that, e6 comes and advantage. So I showed you some ideas on accelerated dragon, and white gets an easy game by playing normal moves knight c3. Marx's bind also is good, but you have to be careful about pawn breaks. You have to be careful that black gives the bishop on c3 and then knight coming to d7, knight c5. That is a plan. Okay. So if you have a doubt, you can ask me in the afternoon session also. Accelerated dragon. I told you already white side. And sometime the white game transposes to Yugoslav attack. Normal standard line B78, B77. Okay, friends, thank you very much being with me here. I will be back at 2:30 for the next session. In the afternoon session, if you have a doubt on accelerated, I will clear it and I will discuss these variations. E4, C5, knight F3, knight C6, D4, CD and D4. Now knight F6, knight C3, E6. This is called Sicilian four knights. So I will discuss this one, and then I will just go to the Sicilian Khan. I have already discussed, I think. No, I have not discussed Khan time. I have already discussed. So I will discuss another line. This is the first line. I will discuss this four knight, Sicilian four knight with knight coming here, then bishop coming here, a3, take. This I will discuss. Then second line I will discuss is now after e4, c5, f3, e6. Now d4, cd and d4. Now place nc6, nc3. Now queen c7. Now be3, a6, bishop d3. This I will discuss because other than the main line, this is also an attractive line and quite interesting. So this second diagram, I will discuss this, and after that, there is other one, but two lines. I think that's all. These two lines I will discuss in the afternoon session, and I will do some middle game positions. Thank you very much. Sabko mera namaskar. Take care. Bye.